in the name of personal injury law.
I'm here with Steve Sinas, a personal injury attorney at the Sinas Dramis Law Firm. Now, normally we'd be talking with Steve about personal injury law and how to protect your family, but today we're doing a special segment on the Sinas Dramis Law Firm's 70th anniversary as a law firm. Welcome back, Steve.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, 70 years is a really long time. That is 7 decades.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you're not that old.
Yeah, I'm not. The firm way exceeds me, but it's certainly, we feel it's something to celebrate in terms of a business being able to stay together that long. And I like to think it's an interesting story.
So how did the firm begin?
Yeah, so my grandfather, Thomas G. Sinas, and his best friend, Lee Dramis, got out of law school, were thinking about what they wanted to make themselves as lawyers, and they decided to open the Sinas Dramis Law Firm. And they started just the two of them, and they quickly gained a lot of respect in the legal community, and others joined them. And so they increased the partnership and ended up having a lot of success in the courtroom. They both were great stewards of their community. My grandfather was a Lansing City Council member. Lee Dramis taught law at Cooley Law School. So they had their success. They were recognized figures, and they really just took the firm to great success in those first couple of years.
Well, and stalwarts of the community as well, right? Yeah. But you told, I know an interesting story about your grandfather.
Yes.
Involving a lawsuit where he was the plaintiff. Can you tell us about that?
So I have Greek heritage, and my grandfather was Greek. And as a Greek immigrant, he loved the restaurant scene that was downtown Lansing. There was a really great culture of Greek and Italian restaurants. And over time, the city of Lansing started selling its land to the state of Michigan and to Lansing Community College. And my grandfather didn't like what it was doing to the culture of downtown Lansing. So he filed a lawsuit, which is known as Thomas G. Sinas versus the city of Lansing.
So what year was this? Do you remember?
This was in this, I think, 1960 or so.
Okay.
Late 50s. Okay. And so he filed this lawsuit. And it was challenged on the grounds of whether he had standing as a taxpayer to sue the city. But what his argument was that by selling off the land, it was really eroding the culture of downtown Lansing, and they should stop doing it. And he ultimately lost at the Supreme Court. There's a Supreme Court decision saying he didn't have standing as the law requires it. And so they just dismissed his case on a technical ground. But I think a lot of people around the Lansing area can see what he was saying.
Well, it's really actually timely today because after COVID-19, everybody was sent home to work remotely last year. A lot of those state workers aren't coming back to downtown Lansing. And how is that affecting the businesses and the culture in downtown Lansing when we've lost like thousands of workers who are no longer coming there on a daily basis?
Absolutely. We're already trying to make the downtown better before the pandemic, but the pandemic has, really created many more challenges for businesses to succeed down there.
Right. So eventually your father, George Sinas, joined the firm. When did that happen?
He graduated from law school in 1975, and he saw an opportunity at the firm that he thought was better than any other opportunity he had out there. And so he went ahead and became a lawyer at the firm. Around that same time, the Michigan Auto NoFault Insurance Law was passed. And Lee Dramis, who handled personal injury cases, told him that you need to know that law inside and out, and the firm needs to be leaders in this area of law because it's going to be a big deal. And he was very prescient in that regard. And,
yeah, I guess so.
And so George sat down in the basement, I heard, and just studied the law inside and out as it was being decided by the courts. And soon enough, he had a partner by the name of Tim Donovan come join him. And they really took the firm to this level of expertise in the NoFault Law. And that's one of the reasons, or is the reason why we have this foundation within the NoFault Law.
So, Steve, when did you join the firm and why?
I joined the firm in 2007 after I graduated from law school and passed the bar. And I had actually been clerking in downtown Detroit at a personal injury law firm. I worked for a guy named Brian McKenna and Barry Waldman. And at the time, I was obviously well aware of what was going on at the Sinas Dramis Law Firm. And really, George and Tim had gained some other partners, such as Mike Larkin, Jim Graves, Brian Waldman, all phenomenal lawyers. And I knew that the firm was a really great place overall, and that it had great morals, that had great standards of excellence, and it served its clients really well. And so as I was trying to figure out my future, my wife had an opportunity to work in Lansing as well, and just things fell into place. And I just said, this is the place for me. And interestingly enough, Brian Waldman, one of the partners at the firm, is the son of Barry Waldman down in Detroit. And so there was already this connection there too. And it's really been one of the best decisions of my life.
But it's become even more of a family affair, hasn't it?
That's right. I was very happy in 2013 when my older brother, who was a very successful lawyer in Minneapolis, chose to move back with his family to Michigan. And they really wanted to live in the Grand Rapids area. And the firm had an interest in having an office out there. So my brother, Thomas G. Sinas, who's named after my grandfather, started our law firm out in Grand Rapids. And so he's been leading that ever since.
So what I think of the Sinas Dramis Law Firm, of course, other than the NoFault Law that you've worked on for such a long time, is how the firm has been so dedicated to serving the community and educating the public. Can you talk a little bit about how, your mission as a firm has been to do these things, and what kind of things have you been doing?
The one thing I've learned from all the great mentors and lawyers around me is that it's a privilege to be a lawyer. It's a privilege to serve your clients and make a living off of doing so. And so we look at it as an obligation for us to serve our community, to help people understand the law, to promote public education about the law, and to get involved with community events. And one thing we've been doing for a number of years is giving away bike helmets every spring to thousands of kids, or at least 1,000 or so each year. And so we do things like that because we believe it's incumbent upon us as a business in this community to connect with our community and serve our community.
And like the People's Law School is another example.
Yes, that's another example. We've been doing that also for 20 years. That's just a program we put together, and people are able to learn about the law from practicing attorneys.
So regular folks can come to a day-long session and learn about the law and how it affects their lives?
Yes, we've had to change the format and how we're doing it because of COVID recently.
Right.
We're going to still do it, and it's just an example of how we want to really make sure that people have the best shot of understanding the law.
So the need for your firm to educate the public has become even more pronounced recently because we have a new NoFault law that has really changed the entire landscape. Can you tell us about what your firm is doing on that front?
Yeah, so in 2019, the legislature greatly overhauled the NoFault insurance law. We've still been greatly involved in that area of law, serving lots of catastrophic injured people. And people have a lot of questions about what the legislature has done. And it's very confusing the way they wrote the law. It's complicated, it's ambiguous. And really the law affects so many people's lives. So we've felt it incumbent upon us to take the time to study the law, understand as much as we can, and get out there in the public to answer as many questions of catastrophic injured people and their families.
What I know, Steve, your firm has also taken the time to educate insurance adjusters and insurance agents to make sure they understood the law as well.
Right. We educate anybody who wants to be educated and try to help them understand this area of law no matter who they are.
And for our viewers, we've done several episodes about the new law and helping the public understand what happened and how it affects them. So if you're at all confused about NoFault Law, there's definitely opportunities to go back and watch some of our prior episodes that we've had recently that cover in some pretty good detail some guidance for the viewers, right?
Definitely. So we've been doing that here at the show. We try to do that in many different ways. And I'll just say to kind of wrap it up here that our business just thanks the community for believing in us and all our clients we've had over the years. We hope that they're happy with their work that we've done for them. And when it comes down to our future, we hope it's as bright as our past.
Well, Steve, thank you. And congratulations again to your firm's 70th anniversary. What an achievement.
Thank you very much.
In the Name of Personal Injury Law is brought to you by the Sinas Dramis Law Firm.